What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to Therapist Logan Reacts. Today we are doing another reaction video to a song that I have recently got put onto. If you haven't heard of this artist, go check them out. They are phenomenal. They got some bangers coming out. I think I found them on TikTok and I kind of just explored them, and I really like some of the stuff they had to say, so I wanted to do a reaction for it and kind of give a therapist breakdown of what we've been doing. So let's jump right into it. This is Never Doing That Again by Praise.
Never coming home, never doing that again. I wanna be alone. I don't really miss my friends. This house don't feel like home. Homie like P, where you been? Grandma, know you hear me. Grandma, I can't do this again.
All right, just kind of right off the bat, this song really connects deeply with me because it's very much identify and correlates a lot with kind of depression, and I've seen it a lot. I've experienced it. I've seen it kind of in different people around me. I've seen a lot of depression as a therapist and interacted with it just kind of throughout my daily life. I saw it growing up, and that's kind of in part why I wanted to become a therapist. I wanted to learn more about it and what it kind of does for people. And I think just again here with how it starts, never coming home, never doing that again. It's almost like these two lines kind of has this idea of regret or kind of upset that something has occurred, and never wants to go through a similar experience like that. But it's the next few that really stick out to me. It says, I want to be alone. I don't really miss my friends. So here is a very common form, common behavior that comes along with depression. That self-isolation is going to not be social and kind of drawing back and pulling back. And that's a really big indicator, especially as a therapist, when we're kind of assessing for depression, suicidality, whatever it may be in the realm of depression. How have you been going to social outings? What's going on? What are some social supports you have? And that's something we kind of assess for and look for, because again, it's such a significant thing that we typically see happen with those struggling with depression. And this is a big one that I don't think doesn't really get talked a lot. And I'm really curious about other therapists and how they've recognized that this house don't feel like home. A lot of the time, I think as we grow and progress through life, we sometimes lose that feeling of where we grew up, and it's like still that same home, but it's not, it doesn't feel, that house that we grew up in does not feel like home anymore. It's lost that sense of feeling and nostalgia maybe. I'm not sure what it is. I haven't fully dove into that realm yet, but it's been a phenomenon that I've experienced personally. And it sucks. It doesn't feel good, but I think it does kind of, again, correlate with like the idea of depression and not feeling the same, not feeling who you are, like just not being able to connect and identify with maybe a time in your life that was happier at that home or house that you grew up in. And I'm not the same individual. I've become something else entirely. And it's hard to make that connection still. So it's just, and again, like he's quoting one of his friends here kind of to continue on about homie like P, where you been, is again like, it's another detrimental step when it comes to depression, because when your social supports do reach out, you feel guilty for not reaching out. So that in turn makes you feel even worse, pushing you and diving you deeper into that depression. So that's a kind of cyclical thing. But again, like, it sounds like here he's trying to like throw out a lifer, like, Grandma, I know you hear me. Grandma, I can't do this again. It's like, it seems like that's a really big support, and typically that familial support, having that one person you can kind of go to, could be grandma, because sometimes I've seen it and I've heard it that grandma's being a familial support is just like someone they can kind of go to, and they've been through stuff. I don't know why that popped up like that, but we're going to continue on.
Grandma, I can't do this again. Drowning in a bottle. I really don't wanna sin. Told you about my feelings. Please don't invalidate this.
Very beautiful right off back. So drowning in a bottle, pretty much typically referring to drinking. We see this again with drinking pain away, drinking these feelings away because it's not a feeling we enjoy. There are no bad emotions. Let me put that out there. There's just some emotions we like feeling more than others. But it's what we do with those, how those emotions influence us. That's when it becomes maladaptive. So if our emotions, if we're feeling sad, it's okay to feel sad. There's nothing wrong with that. But if it influences our thoughts, that's where it's made that distinction. That's where you need to be able to cut that connection. Because I may be sad, that's okay, but I shouldn't find myself worse or do something. Now, this is a behavior, right? So it's the same thing. He was sad. He's feeling sad, which is nothing wrong with that. But now it's influencing his behavior. It's pushing him to drink and minimize and push off his feelings, which that's not a productive or healthy outlet for that. And then I said, I don't want to sin. I told you about my feelings. Please don't invalidate them. I think this is really big for an artist to talk about, because I think in today's society, a lot of men are fearful of speaking about their emotions and feelings because they typically get invalidated. I think this is why kind of like the idea of maybe like the term toxic masculinity gets thrown everywhere, but like the idea of it was like you want someone to be in touch with their feelings and emotionally intellectually emotional and stuff, like emotional intelligence is high, but when they're trying to set that boundary, like, please don't invalidate them. Like, I'm trying to share something with you, but it's not to like start an argument. Like, it's already uncomfortable for a lot of men to speak about their feelings. Like, it's a very widely known concept. And so you typically see the other behaviors that kind of minimize those feelings and thoughts so they don't have to think about it, and like the drinking, the substance abuse, or whatever it may be. But it's hard, especially to ask someone to not invalidate them. Like, pretty much asking, like, I want you to hear me, what I have to say, and I don't want you to react. I just want you to hear what I have to say. And that's typically a good start to not invalidate someone's feelings.
Staring at a wall for hours. Tears running down my cheeks.
Shout out to Praise for that. For real.
Holding tight, but she won't grasp me. Darling, I'm homesick.
Wow. So right here is really a big one. It's like, don't think that I matter without her. Holding tight, but she won't grasp me. This seems to, again, I don't want to speak for the artist itself, but as a therapist, this really screams and identifies with their idea of self, this ideology of valuing themselves, and it seems like their identity is so closely tied to this relationship and so dependent on this other person, which can become very difficult for relationships. This is not a very healthy frame of mind when it comes to relationships, because you do matter. We all matter individually as individual people. Yes, I know that relationships can feel phenomenal and be amazing, but you're not valuable because you're in a relationship with somebody. You're valuable because you're an individual human being, and you deserve love and respect and all that stuff. But you shouldn't tie it too closely, because here it then becomes dependent. And when you become dependent, that can create more problems and expectations that just, again, create more problems down the road. And again, just kind of here, holding tight, but she won't grasp me. It's like holding on for something that they're not getting in return. So internally, they may think that if they're not willing to grasp me back, if we're not together, then I'm worth nothing. That's what it seems to be, kind of that whole play on
holding tight,
aspect.
but she won't grasp me. Darling, I'm homesick. Really, I'm sick of home.
Wow. Yep. So just to tie it all together, the darling, I'm homesick. I want to be home. I'm longing for that connection, that feeling I kind of spoke about earlier. This idea of home versus just a house that we once knew was what it is now. He's saying, but really, I'm sick of home. So I'm actually don't enjoy being at that house anymore because it's no longer home. So like that's a really beautiful kind of artistic style. And then like he's longing for something that's no longer there in the in like a theoretical sense, essentially, like a figurative sense. It's the idea we tie with this idea of home. Like typically, some people say home's like more with people, and it's just like the idea of home growing up. He longs for that home, but in this present time, it's no longer available. So he's sick of even being around there. That's beautiful, and I think he encapsulates it really, really well.
Baby, I'm homesick. Really, I'm sick of home. Save me.
Beautiful song. I really enjoy that one. I didn't really try deep diving into the lyrics before today. All the more this makes me love the song even more. There's a lot of other good songs by Praise clearly up. Like these are my top 4 right now on this album. I would definitely go check those out because there's some fire. I might do a reaction on those too. I like this guy too because he caught me because I originally thought he sounded like Juice WRLD, so I thought it, so it brought me in. But he had a very different twist, and I just enjoy it. It's very raw emotion, and it comes to, I think he encapsulates depression very well in a creative, artistic sense, of just longing for something that's no longer there, and not being able to see value in ourselves through others. So shout out to them. I really think this is. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you like the song? I wish it was longer. It's only a minute 30, but I really think it could be a really good. I think he could be a new artist that's really going to be able to come up soon. So let me know what you guys think. Are you throwing this on your playlist? Maybe on the Feels playlist. I definitely got it downloaded. I think it encapsulates it really well. But let me know what you guys think. Make sure you give it a like too. And thank you guys. We just about hit 250 subscribers. We're a quarter of the way there to 1,000. Let's keep it running. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for participating, and I'll catch you next video.